Hello, welcome to the new Super Review here on Top TV. My name is William Savule, and I'm super excited to have you join us here today, the 4th day of August 2022. Yes, if this is the first time you're seeing this video, this is where we bring you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. I'm sure those of you that have been following, you've heard me say that a lot of time, but of course I need to say it again for those of you that are just joining us for the first time. So do well to subscribe to this channel by first clicking on the subscribe key, and don't forget to also click on the notification key. That helps you to get notified whenever we come online. We'll be going straight to the newspaper, and with me today to do this is Mr. Sonny Gomorai. Yes, he's going to be analyzing these papers with me. Let's take on the headlines, and we'll get to talk about these things, talk about the headlines, and of course the reactions. We take them. You can also join us by also dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section. Yeah, you can do that by following us on all of our other social media platforms too. We are on Facebook as Tap TV, on Instagram is Tap TV _NG, and on Twitter is at Tap TV. So please connect with us on all of these platforms so you can also drop your comments and your reactions there. All right, we'll go straight to the headlines, but we'll begin with Nigerian Tribune for today, the 4th day of August 2022. We start with this story. It says INEC projects 95 million voter population for 2023 poll. That story you'll find on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. That's a very interesting one from INEC, and from all indications, it's very clear that the number of registered voters had really gone up this time around, leading up to the 2023 general elections. Other stories here we see here: federal government, Google agreed to tackle YouTube channels of proscribed groups. You find that story on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also see Tafa Balogun dies at 74. That story is on page 29. For those of you that don't know who that is, he used to be the Inspector General of Police under Olusegun Obasanjo administration. All right, moving on, we see here as the major headline on the Nigerian Tribune: Atiku, Wike meet, begin reconciliation talks. Atiku, Wike meet, begin reconciliation talks to set up committee to work out terms. Melaye Bwala appointed as spokespersons for Atiku. APC unveils Lalong as presidential campaign DG. Details of all of that story you find on page 2 and 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Moving on, we take this story. It says here, court sentences killer of Akwa Ibom Jobseeker to death by hanging. Details is on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also see lastly here, it says UK close to recession, Bank of England says. Details of that's on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. All right, Mr. Shani, let me come to you, but let's begin with the story of the sentencing of the young man, Mr. Frank. What's his surname now? Mr. Frank, that committed murder by strangling a young lady, that he had lured for a job position, and this happened in Akwa Ibom State months back. But now, he has been sentenced to death by the court. What's your reaction to that story?
Okay, I think it's a good one, and for the first time we saw that this case was not elongated in like the way we would see other cases. Because if it was like high-profile people that were involved, you could have seen that this case will run. Then we get not to hear about it again. But you can see that the proceeding for this case, judgment was passed on time. It was not dragged for too long, and the second accused and the third accused were released. I think the second accused was the father. The third accused was his sister, who abhorred him in her house to help him escape from the state. So for me, it's a good judgment, and I also want to relate this to Nigerian, to those that have been stealing money from Nigeria, like the politicians. If we can have laws that we say, okay, if you steal from Nigeria, it's by death or by you go to jail, long term, like a life imprisonment, and I think our country will be a better place.
Yes, I so agree with you. For this case, I mean, a lot of people are really satisfied with the court's judgment, considering the fact that the death of that girl was not the only girl that he was accused of, but this is the one that brought him to the books. This is the one that brought him to to the court. But it was reported that several cops, grave sites were found within the compound where he was arrested, and for the court to have found him guilty just shows that yes, this was really a good judgment. And there are many, not just him. Remember the killer of Hanifa in Kaduna State? He too has been sentenced to death. It just shows that. And then the swiftness to which the court went about this case just tells you that yes, the justice system is beginning to improve in terms of passing judgment and all of that. Even though the young man is still open to appeal of the judgment, but of course, at this stage, I saw a report where the parents of the late Miss Umorin was being spoken to, and they were really satisfied at the judgment. Well, same here. I hope that this is going to deter young people that are out there, just roaming around and thinking of committing crime. Crime doesn't pay, and it always leads to regret and this sort of disgraceful ending. And people that are alike, and these are some of the things that parents are beginning to cry out for, while the federal government has kept a lot of our young persons at home for over 5 months. They are prone to this kind of activity. But my point is that whether you are home doing nothing or not is not an excuse
to commit crime.
It's not an excuse to commit crime or take the life of another. Everyone has a right to life. You don't have any right whatsoever to take the life of anybody. So this is just a very
I also want to talk about Tafa Balogun.
Yes, the former IGP.
Yes, today, because I had to quickly go and read a little history about him. For me, he was a corrupt corpse. Yes, because he had a lot of corruption allegations against him. And how can somebody who was accused of stealing over 15 billion naira from the police coffer, case of bribery, a lot of allegations against him, and he was sentenced to just 6 months imprisonment after taking a plea bargain. Who does that?
Yeah.
Months later, he was released. So sometimes it just shows you that those who have the money bags in Nigeria can get away with anything.
Yeah.
You understand?
Very
Even
true.
though EFCC brought in overwhelming evidence why this man should just rot in jail. He was given just 6 months imprisonment.
Well, but right now he's no longer with us, and that's just one thing. Death is always the leveler. Whether you want to show that you're the smartest or the strongest or the biggest thief, death is always the leveler. He escaped going to jail for all his crime, but today he's no more.
Then,
and a lot of people don't have great things to say about him.
I also want to talk about Wike and Atiku. I don't see Wike working for PDP. Because because Wike, from the study I've been doing, Wike come all out if he's involved in something. You understand? For the fact that Wike didn't win the primaries, he was now appointed as the running mate to Atiku. Wike is going to take the back seat. And if you watch very well, since after the primaries, Wike has been very quiet. You understand? They've all been coming to coerce him to come to talk. I don't see Wike working for PDP.
That's not the current situation, because he has gone ahead to meet with Atiku and has also agreed to work with the party. Now, mind you, he has
If I agree to work with you, does that mean that I work with you?
No, well.
Okay.
No, well, I feel that in all of this, politics is about interest. Now, all of those show of, pain and betrayal that Wike was, exhibiting, it's just a clear path to calling Atiku to the table for renegotiation. And now that they have met a few more times to talk about the way forward, I strongly believe that they must have negotiated something in favor of Wike if Atiku wins, or as they carry on. So I don't think Wike just got up. Wike spent a lot of money. Running for the seat of the presidency in any political party is not a small money venture. So all the
That's
parties.
what we've turned it to be in Nigeria.
No, but then that's what it is in terms of campaigning and canvassing for votes from political from
which
party.
money are you spending? Do you do any other job? Now you are working for government. You use government money to run to campaign for yourself.
So that's the situation. They have spent a lot of money, and I'm sure Wike was hoping that getting the VP slot would have helped him to stay in power, or should I say, like also kind of like I didn't get the #1 seat. But at least I'm the #2 person. Let me stay relevant. But he is still a very strong and relevant politician here in the South. That's why, all the while he was making the noise he was making, people were also trying to rally around him to ensure that he falls back in line with the PDP. And now that he's showing signs of going back in line with the PDP, it is clear that, yes, something must have been renegotiated or negotiated in his favor. We're just watching, and I'm sure as the months begin to go by, a lot more will be unfolded. All right, we're moving on to the next paper, and that will be This Day newspaper. And on this day, we're going to take the headlines from the top part of that paper. It says, Nigeria secures $1.5 billion loan from U.S. to boost solar power infrastructure. All right, we also see here, Insecurity will remove Senate President if he blocks Buhari's impeachment, says Father Husi. All right, and then on we see here Adamu, APC's all-Muslim ticket, positive development. Party names Lalong Keyamo campaign DG. Spokesman, I was chosen as a Christian, says Plateau Governor. Chetima asked opposition candidates to name people they mentored like Tinubu. And that's the major headline on this day newspaper. We see here, at last, Atiku Wike meet, move to resolve their differences. Former VP throws down the gauntlet, says Nigeria can't make progress without restructuring. PDP presidential candidate appoints Dino Melai, Daniel Bwala spokespersons. Ayu, Oshun elections signpost victory for PDP in 2023. Also, we see here, ex-Inspector General of Police, Tafa Balogun, dies at 74. That's all the stories on this day newspaper. So do well to pick up a copy and read up details of that story. We practically have touched some of the stories here.
Yes, I want to react to the senators threatening. Who are they threatening?
Say it will remove the Senate President if he blocks Buhari's impeachment, says Father Hussein.
So you can see that life is playing itself out. You know, Nigerians have been calling for the removal of the president, like since 3 years ago, or maybe from the first term. Remove this man or impeach him. They were all quiet. They were all playing to the gallery.
Yeah.
Now you can see that the attacks is coming very closer to their homes, because whether you like it or not, Abuja used to be their safe haven. Any politician that make money in his state runs down to Abuja to buy a house and live there. Abuja is secured. Abuja have cameras on the streets. Abuja have there's police. But right now,
all of that.
The shaking has come to Abuja. Now they are all speaking up that they have to remove the president. Just few months to him leaving office. You understand? So,
and that's why I feel that it's just a show. They don't really mean it. They had 7 years to try impeaching the president for lack of performance. They didn't. They have always been like a rubber stamp, Senate. Now, at the tail end, you say you want to remove him. How is that going to change this current situation where we are? Isn't that going to worsen what we're trying to... so there's no need. There's no need. They should let him finish his term while we prepare for the 2023 general elections coming up in January next year. That's for 2023. So that's what they should be focused on. All these ones, for me, are just distractions, and it's very unnecessary. They should let it be. All right, we move on to the Daily Sun newspaper for today, the 4th day of August 2022. And the headlines reads, Ekweremadu remains in custody as UK court adjourns hearing till October 31st. Details of that you find on page 7 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Also, we see here ex-Inspector General of Police Tafa Balogun dies, 74, dead. Details you find on page 7, still on the Daily Sun newspaper. As the major headline here on the Daily Sun, it says 2023 general elections, NSA, that's the National Security Advisor, INEC chair differ on polls. No going back, says Mongunu. Insecurity, big threat, Yakubu cries out. We also see here PDP, Atiku Wike meet, agree on modalities for reconciliation. Malai Boala named campaign spokespersons. You find details of that on page 3 and 29 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also see at the very bottom part there, APC names Lalong Keamu presidential campaign DG spokesman. Details you find on page 7 of the Daily Sun newspaper. All right, Mr. Sunny, let's go to the story about INEC. And there's a fear, big threat. According to them, it says insecurity, big threat.
Yes,
Yakubu cries out.
I think I understand where Yakubu is crying out from, because whether we like it or not, if we don't tackle security from now till when the elections we hold, I don't see some states in the north having a fair election process.
I don't even think it's just
like
some
states like Benue.
It's not only
states like Benue.
It's not only states in the north.
States like Borno State. Borno State, as we speak, more than 10 local governments is completely shut down. You understand? So, place like Katsina State. See, I don't see us having a good election here, especially in the north. And most of these parties that win, their wins always come from the north. You can see they're really scared. That's why you see that they're really speaking up right now. Because, yes, the crisis is tougher up north there, and a lot of people won't want to come out. Like people that live in the suburbs, they will not want to come out to vote, because they are always being careful of where they go, at what time they turn up, and stuff like that. So I think the insecurity is going to disrupt the elections.
Yes,
I have that fear.
No doubt. They need, we've been saying this time and time again, that yes, they need to at least, even if not totally fixing the insecurity situation that we're in at the moment, because we know that between now and the election time, it's relatively long, and so they may not be able to fix it, but they need to curb the level of attacks that has been going on. The threat from these bandits and terrorists has increased. They need to curb it, and if they don't do so, truly true, when come the general elections, people will not be able to participate. Already, we're already feeling the impact of this insecurity in terms of our economy, in terms of agriculture and all of that. People cannot go to their farms, so there are certain commodities that have gone so high in their prices because of insecurity. Same applies to the electioneering process. People cannot, we have seen also, that's why I was saying that when you said in the north, I know that it's not going to be only in the north, even down here in the southeast, there has been rising tension about the unknown gunmen that we have seen in many viral videos how they have gone to attack people that are going out to, go out to register for the upcoming elections, that is registered to get their permanent voters card. They've been killed, they've been harassed and sent back home. So you see, it's not only in the north. So if the federal government and state governments don't step up to this challenge, it's going to overwhelm us, and it will affect the outcome of the 2023 general elections, which is a very critical elections for Nigeria as a nation. We cannot get it wrong. Look at the report about over 93 million persons going to participate in the upcoming election. That's to tell you that people are no longer ready to stay, passive. They want to get involved. But insecurity is a matter. Nobody wants to die trying to, lend a voice to the current situation in this country. We want Nigeria to be better. We want Nigeria to improve. But nobody wants to lose their life
doing that.
Just like that.
And I think the state governments too have not been proactive. You understand? Because whether you like it or not, in a country like this, Buhari has been here for almost 8 years. What stopped the Senate from passing the state police law? You understand? Because if you live in a community, for instance, you know the neighborhoods, you know those that ferment trouble in your community. You know, that's the essence of state policing. Like in America, they have the sheriffs. If there's any crisis in the community here, they know who to go to. They know the priest, because the people that are recruited into the sheriff system are people from that community. You can't bring a policeman that is from Zamfara State to come and police to come to Elios in Port Harcourt and start knowing the community and start knowing the culture. You understand? But in state policing, people, if you are from Elios community, they recruit you and you still work in Elios. You understand? So that means you know all the bottlenecks, you know all the red flags, you know everywhere. You understand? That's the essence of state policing. Like I'm really happy this morning I was reading Benue State. Benue State, yes, I've created a security arm, and they're asking the federal government that this security arm is going to carry weapons. And they're going to back it by the state law. You understand? So I think all states should follow suit. You understand? Recruit people from the local governments and let them work there. And if federal government wants to challenge it, take them to court.
And this would have come in very handy considering the security situation of the current security situation leading up to the election.
Yes.
We need to have a safe electioneering period. We need to have people feeling safe when they come out to vote. This method of putting fear in people because of the rise in insecurity, it's not going to work.
Not going to
it's not going to work. Nigerians at this point in time, it is more like whether you come out to vote, you will still die. If you stay in your house, you will still die of hunger. So shall I come out and try and vote and die? It has gotten to that point. So whether they try to resolve it or not, Nigerians are still going to come out. But a right-thinking and responsible government would nip this in the bud.
They're not thinking about you, because the sitting government is going to want to do everything possible to ensure that they hold on to power.
But that would be against all he said. When he said he wants to leave a legacy, I beg your pardon, a legacy of a free and fair election. That is one of the things that his government is committed to doing before he leaves office. So we're going to hold him to that. I mean, I know that
even if he
current
wants
government
it,
has
people
failed.
following him will not want it.
Yes, this current Buhari's government has failed in many ways that words cannot even explain. But if he has come out to say this is one of the things he wants to ensure that he will get correctly, we have seen it in Ekiti and Osun, which everybody has commended him. I mean, the president and the Nigerian government for the way they conducted the elections in Ekiti and Osun State. It was quite peaceful. In fact, there were no reports of violence of any sort. Rather, there were reports of vote buying here and there, but none of that. So, if that has happened, and the president also come out and made a statement that this is very impressive, and he thanked INEC and all of that, and then say that this is going to continue up to the general election. So we are hoping that, yes, he will be responsible enough to ensure that we have a very safe and free, smooth electioneering period, which is what all Nigerians are hoping to get out of this. Well, Mr. Sonny, I want to thank you very much for making it to the show, but that's all we can take this morning. And to our viewers, thank you so much for staying with us up to this time. Do well to comment on some of the headlines we have read out to you. Drop it on the comment section. We'd love to read out or hear from you of what you think about it. And we'll come again next week with more episodes of the Newspaper Review here on Top TV. Do well to join us. Till next time, you stay well and stay safe.